Woo! Man, Colobro on Twitter. He feels like the Xbox community is pretty muted right now. They ain't into it. They don't got the energy anymore. And actually after I saw this, I figured, this is actually a good video. Now that we've let the dust settle on the whole some games going multiplat, some games not, feel like it's a good time to, really, circle around and give another perspective on what's exactly going on in the industry. And let's read what Colobro has to say, man. He says, I feel like the Xbox community is pretty muted right now. I don't see any excitement or hype anymore. Being an Xbox content creator also feels a lot less fun these days. With port begging obviously being everywhere, I hope these 4 games, more will surely come, were worth it. Let's go over some of the comments. Jez says, can't help but feel this is entitlement. To be honest, more Xbox games in the works than ever before. More players playing. Xbox is bigger than itself. Xbox is bigger than Windows itself. Not seeing any traffic drop off on my end. Console wars are the only thing that has suffered so far. I'm gonna be honest. You got Tim Dog hard to root for something that won't root for itself. We will see what happens. That's kind of a hard, man. That's kind of a hard truth right there. Xbox. They kind of was like, yo, we going everywhere. So I feel Tim Dog on there. I know a lot of you in the comment section, they ain't feeling Tim Dog in general right now, but we're going to move on. Code Eastwood said, running a weekly podcast and looking for gaming content to cover. Most everything is dire, muted or cautious. I hope it all improves. They opened the box with those 4 games. You can't put it back in. Xbox second half of the year is stacked. Starting with Hellblade 2, the mood will pick up late May, June showcase in steady flow of first party. We got Flame over there from Lognet. Yep, it's only going to get worse time over time. Less competition is going to gradually worsen the market. But if Microsoft makes a little more money from Xbox, that's all they care about. All Xbox podcasts are talking about is PlayStation. I don't necessarily agree with that. I haven't really saw that, but I don't really watch a whole lot of podcasts these days unless I'm traveling. All right, so we got this dude saying they damaged the brand. So let's talk about this. As you guys know, I've never really deemed myself an Xbox content creator, but I do make a lot of Xbox content. I cover just about anything in the industry, but Xbox is the one that generally gets the most hype from me, so that's why I talk about it the most. I'm not going to lie to you guys. The passion's still there. What's what I'm looking for? The wanting the brand to do better is still there. The loving the ecosystem still there. I mean, I still got the Xbox, the headset, the controller's right here somewhere. Oh, here it is. The Starfield controller. I still love the brand. I'm still making content on the brand. But I won't say that the annoyance with the brand and how they are choosing to go about this doesn't frustrate me. When you see something like, it's so Hellblade does really well, like a 90 plus on Metacritic. It's going to be received well because it's doing well, but then I can almost guarantee you shortly after, you're just going to get people that says, oh, even though that this game's doing well and it looks great, I'm just going to wait for that PlayStation port. And at this point, if they weren't really hype for Hellblade, why would you buy an Xbox? I mean, obviously they can have a PC. I do think there is a difference between a PC gamer and a console gamer. I have both. I have a PC mainly for content creation, but I can understand the perspective on that. It's just, in a way I agree with Clover, and in a way I don't. I agree there's a lot of influencers like myself that's frustrated with the brand, but we still love the brand. We're going to talk about it. We're always going to hold Xbox accountable. I feel like these days, no one wants to be accountable for anything. They want to just get away with whatever they can. I'm not that kind of person. I'm always going to hold you accountable. If I feel you need to be held accountable, you're going to be held accountable. I've always been very vocal on here talking about whether or not I enjoyed what Xbox did or what they did. And I've always gave them props as well. Just sometimes there'll be weeks of bad news for Xbox and it looks like a doom and gloom. This is not a doom and gloom channel. I do talk about stuff I love in the industry, but unfortunately sometimes weeks go by and there's only really negative stuff out there to talk about. I can't help that. But one thing I will say is Xbox is probably the best place they've ever been. Even on other competing platforms, we saw Hi-Fi Rush getting good reviews. We saw Sea of Thieves pre-orders blow out the roof. We've seen all of this on top of Hellblade coming out this year, Avowed coming out this year, Indiana Jones coming out this year. Even though that some of these games might be a timed exclusive, some of these games might not ever come to PlayStation. But the problem is when you let games like Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, and Pentiment come over to the PlayStation platform and Switch platform to a degree, you're just going to have a bunch of people that's going back and forth on whether or not they care if they go there. When you already devalued your brand to a point by making games over on PC, last generation, at the beginning of the Xbox One, I know a lot of PC people that had an Xbox. I don't know any of those having Xboxes anymore. Why would they? You could play their games day and date on PC. So why would you do that? And then you have Xbox going out there just pretty much telling people, you don't even need a PC or an Xbox to play this. You could play this on your TV. You're just telling people they need an Xbox. I think communication has frustrated a lot of Xbox content creators. I think the leadership and how they've worded things, which is probably communication, that's frustrated Xbox content creators. The way it seems like they're always going back on the vision because of money, and I get it. Money rules everything. At the end of the day, they're going to have to do stuff to make themselves profitable, but it doesn't make the news itself any easier. I don't think no one hates on the Xbox brand or there's not hype towards the Xbox brand. I just think people are frustrated with them. I think people are still waiting to see how these games come over. I don't know what Sea of Thieves is going to sell in the end logistically. I don't know what Hi-Fi Rush is going to sell in the end logistically. We're going to have to see those actual sales. But I don't think everyone is like that. I just think there's a lot of influencers just disappointed. And then you look at the standpoint on where we are in the year right now. We are not even midway through 2024. For those of you that don't really keep track of this stuff, this is a bad time of the year. It's always been a bad time of the year for content creation, for games coming out. Now, there's good games coming out, but in terms of like news, in terms of stuff coming out, most of the time right now you're just seeing leaks. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Now, I would say midway through the year, when we start getting newer announcements on new games, EA starts going out there, Ubisoft, Microsoft, Nintendo, when we start seeing more of that stuff, I think you'll see a general hype in the industry overall. That's why I said I don't think it's necessarily that it's being down right now in the Xbox community specifically. I think it's just a mixture of people are frustrated with the messaging from Microsoft and the direction they're going. On top of that, there's not a whole lot of stuff to talk about. So you're just going to naturally get that lack of excitement. I don't think that's going to be a forever thing. I do think that you're going to eventually see the hype come back into a lot of these content creators because when the games are there to talk about, man, at the end of the day, it's about games. But I don't blame Clover for this kind of take because I do feel him to a point. I do. But at the same time, I think it's just the time of the year, man. We got to calm down a little bit. But yeah, what do you guys feel, man? You guys feel like, kind of the hype is dead? Like, especially your favorite Xbox influencer? Kind of curious on that. Put in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, definitely hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel for weekly content. We make weekly content on here. I will be at PAX East till the 26th, so it's going to be a little bit of slow content for the next week. But I appreciate you for coming through. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.